I'm going to evaluate some of my first attempts over the tougher obstacles on the new difficult Enduro trail, and then I'll go out and practice and we'll see how much time I can shave off my lap time. I made a new difficult Enduro trail that stands aside from our existing 1.8 mile, a little more flowy Enduro trail so that I can practice some of the new techniques that I've been learning. And I'm calling it the difficult Enduro trail so that it's not confused with a hard Enduro trail. A hard Enduro is like its own thing with crazy big ass obstacles. And I don't think this trail qualifies as that. We'll start with the big double log obstacle. This was the most intimidating on the new trail, and after my first half-assed attempt, I realized I needed a little more space to approach it. There's a pivot turn over a smaller log right before it, and I had to cut out a branch because there was less than a bike's length between the obstacles. So the pivot turn is still there, but there's a little more than a bike's length now. And then my next attempt went well, but you can tell by my lengthy hesitation that I was still intimidated by it. But I always find that when I face a fear like that, I'm always left wondering what I was so afraid of. So I got over the logs pretty easily, but I should have given the throttle a second blip to launch me over it. It was clumsy, as were some of the other big logs on the trail, like this one where I punched the log just right but didn't give that second blip of throttle, which would have shot me up and over the log more smoothly. So next time I'm out, I'll be putting in a lot of reps of the double blip technique. Okay, so moving on to pivot turns. I didn't get over any of the 6 pivot turn areas in a smooth motion. On this big one, I could have gotten over it a little more smoothly if I had given it some throttle right here, but I think I'm so used to not making it over that I instinctively just backed up and put my tire into the dirt to get the traction to pop over it. So next time I'm out, I'll put extra effort into trying to get over the logs in a smooth motion without backing up to finish getting over. Now I want to talk about the most difficult area of the trail. I thought it would be the big double log after the pivot turn, but once I rode the trail, I realized the most difficult area is this right-hand pivot turn over a small log while going under a low branch through a tight area into a small log followed by a massive down tree. It's extremely tight and hard to carry any kind of momentum through. Also, there's a sharp left turn after the big tree to further complicate things. I think I'm gonna clear out some of the little branches on the ground before the pivot turn because they made it very difficult to get any traction for the pivot turn. Once I get those cleared out, it should be easier to make the pivot turn, but the low branch is always going to be a challenge. As for the big down tree, I'm just gonna have to go over it repeatedly and figure out the best way to get over it. So my first lap was clocked at 3 minutes 48 seconds, which should be easy to improve. I hesitated over a lot of the obstacles just because they were all brand new to me, so simply lapping the trail a few times and figuring out the best lines over the obstacles should significantly decrease that time. So I'll get back out on the trail as soon as I can and work on my pivot turns as well as the double blip technique, and we'll see how much time I can shave off of that 3 minutes 48 seconds. So thanks for all the advice in the comments. I really appreciate that. Thanks for all the subscriptions, the likes on the videos. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.